Welcome, our fellow lovers of love, and thank you for joining us on yet another excursion through the stream of consciousness, down the river of tranquility, to fill the lake of life with love.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining us here on another version of Late Night Love. And I'll get the right banner this time on the first try if it kills me. Oh, that's actually a true banner, but not the one I was looking for. And there we go. God, I'm terrible at this. Anyway, good evening, and welcome to yet another Saturday night down here on Late Night Love. And we've got yet another interesting journey through, Lubby's drives through Reddit. Plus, we're talking about sexuality again.
Yes, our last sexuality show was our 69th episode.
And so we're on, what the hell are we on, 160? What are we on?
I think we're on 157.
Oh, so we could have just waited till 169 again.
Oh,
We'll just have to do it again. Anyway, that's just another. Wow, where'd the time go? It has been a while then, hasn't it?
yes, it has.
Yeah. Because if it was, it really has been a while now. Time is. Well, it's been a busy year and a half.
Yes, it has.
Because we do one of these a week, so for 157, that means like it's been a really long time, over a year. So, we sure we haven't done a sexual show yet? Anyway.
No, we haven't.
All right, so let's get down to business, I suppose, which is a strange way of saying that, but okay. It's a strange thing. Well, let's get it down to, what do you want to start with here?
Well, we're going to start with sexual fantasies. What is the top 10 most women's common sexual fantasies? First off, everybody fantasizes. This is normal, natural, and part of the human experience.
Uh-huh.
So for women, number 10 is strangers in the night. Of course, a mystery man. You follow him to some swanky hotel and you just let loose. And that's the thing about strangers in the night, because you will not be judged.
Well, you will, but who cares? And, that's, even if you are judged, who cares? Because you're not going to know them again. So what? The next one's more the merrier, group sex and all that kind of stuff.
Group sex, yeah.
That's one.
A little dominatrix thing for number 8, spanking, order him to perform certain sexual acts, make him beg, have him suck on your stiletto heels.
There you go. Interesting. Okay.
Lay me on display. Have an audience.
Well, it's the reverse end of voyeurism, right? It's I don't know how you'd call it, but I can't think about that. But the name escapes me. I know there is one, but it's the opposite end of what the voyeurie. Maybe it is voyeurism, just in a different form. Okay.
Okay, number 6, we have being submissive. Now this goes both ways with being submissive. Being obedient, and the other scenario is being disobedient and resisting command.
So it's just, different ways that same kind of surrendering yourself to somebody else, which is a common fantasy amongst all human beings, quite frankly. But
surrendering to the will of others.
Yeah.
Being a toy.
Essentially.
Because you're so desirable. They have to have you.
Sure. See, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, number 5. Women
Yeah.
being with another woman.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, some women imagine being strippers,
Mm-hmm.
and others have taken it a step further and wondered what it's like to be a prostitute.
Yeah, well, I think there's a difference between a fantasy and reality, right? And so that's where the difference between fantasies about being those things, or
Well, fantasies are harmless.
yeah, it's that thing is
You get to try on things and without any repercussions, and to kind of see if it works for you or not.
only because it's more about the situation rather than it's not really that you want to become a
Well,
prostitute
no.
or a stripper. It's back to the loss of control thing, but you're in control in those situations in a sense. But
Well, here again, you're so desirable.
yeah, it's just
They're
another.
willing to pay.
Yeah, but it's a human, that type of thing where you just want to step outside yourself for a while. It is a very human thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so what do you got?
2 men at once
Okay.
is number 3.
Isn't that the same as the group sex earlier? Or I guess maybe the group sex was like
Group sex is
group.
group.
All right. All right.
Okay, apparently number 2 is to be a man for a night. Dress like a man. Act like a man. Have a penis.
It's
Be
not as fun
a
as you all
man.
think it is. I'm just saying. It's just not.
Well, we wonder what it would be like.
Yeah. No, I get that. I'm just saying. You want to be something you're not. That's kind of a thing.
And number 1, I've never understood this, is the rape fantasy.
Well, it's the loss of control thing. It's no different than not that much different. It's just they explain it differently. It goes back to the lost control thing. It's just a different version of being dominated and all that stuff. Maybe a more intense version of it. It's just the same thing, manifesting differently.
Okay.
So it's not that unusual. So if you think about it that way. But, a lot of that is just stepping outside what is considered normal. It's not like you want to live it. You just want to, fantasize about it, once or twice. Maybe have a fun weekend, twice out your lifetime. That kind of thing. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. Human sexuality is strange. We spent how much time and effort and scholarly studies and not so scholarly studies trying to figure it out. So, and we still haven't really figured it out. So, it is what it is. I try not to think about it too hard personally, because then it just gets weird. So you just kind of accept it for what it is. We'll all have our different sets of proclivities, and life will be what life will be.
Well, there's nothing new under the sun.
No, that's just true. If we're doing it now, they've done it before. We may have different tools, so to speak, but it's all the same. Okay, so what's next?
Okay, well, apparently men have a top 15 common fantasies. Okay, and right up there, of course, is a nice to meet you and have sex, neighbor's wife, that kind of thing.
Well, you got what is it? The nice to meet you. You got the big boobs woman, which I guess.
Big boobs.
Yeah, number 14.
Yeah.
The double D effect. Their antenna adjusted by their partner, whatever that means.
Their antenna adjusted by their foot. Oh, being passive and having the woman just be pleasuring them and they not have to do anything.
Okay. Well, that's a human thing, but I suspect. But okay. Getting freaky with a stranger. All right, the same thing.
Common.
Feast of women. Yeah, same thing. The whole group sex. Rubbing their partner's raspberry. Who writes these headlines?
Okay, at least 76% of men fantasize about pleasing their partner.
Yeah.
Tongue tornado.
It's the same thing.
78% of men fantasize about giving cunnilingus.
Yeah, it's just the same thing as the other one. Some of these are just kind of duplicates. They say 78% of men fantasize about making love in a romantic location like a deserted beach. No, it's just a place that, outside of the normal place. Okay. What is that? Number 8. It's the
80% of men fantasize about ejaculating on their romantic partner. 80%?
Well, and here's the thing. I suspect the fantasy is popular because many women don't allow it in real life. What do you mean, don't allow it? Anyway.
Really?
I don't know. It's not been my experience, so I don't know.
It's pretty common.
What, not allowing it?
No. I mean, asking to have it. Guys doing it. Some ask, some just do it.
Most women I've been with have preferred it that way. So they like it. So.
Well, it's a little fun. You get to watch,
So I'm just saying.
It's kind of cool. I did that,
Yeah. I don't know. It's good for the skin or something. I don't know.
Well, it's got a lot of protein.
That's what they say. So the next one is lesbian voyeurism. So, men, visual creatures. We get that.
Unfamiliar place. 82% of men.
Yeah, I think women have the same thing if you break it down like that.
83% of men fantasize of cheating.
Well, it's not cheating because it's a fantasy, but yes, I get what you're saying. But yeah, at some point, it wouldn't surprise me. Even if it's Angelina Jolie or somebody, right? It's the same thing. Okay.
85% of men fantasize about hooking up with 2 men at the same time. Who are the at least 15%? I thought all men did that.
What, with 2 women at the same time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, there's 15% who are either, interested in other places or more traditional. So it's not the same thing.
Okay, apparently number 2 is oral pleasure, both giving and receiving. 88% of men fantasize about this.
Yeah.
And apparently the number 1 fantasy is about making love in a public place.
Well, some of these 66% agree and fantasize about making openly in public place. But like 80% said something else. I don't know where they're getting this list came up with, but at least in terms of order, I think they just threw the order on a chalkboard or on a dartboard. But yeah, the list isn't all that dissimilar to women, even though I'd like to point out that women like to be dominated more than apparently men like to dominate in a fantasy thing.
Yes.
Which is, I guess, surprising. or at least more than men are willing to admit to a survey. That's always there's always that bias, what you're actually willing to say in front of somebody on a survey.
Well, that's true.
So that's a common misconception, but it doesn't surprise me that the list is varied, and there's a lot of overlap, but not as much as you would actually think, which is probably frustrating for a lot of people.
Like,
Just no wonder we're all frustrated all the time.
so I think it just means we need to have realistic expectations when we go into a relationship, where no person is going to hit all your buttons. And if you have something that is a must-have, you need to put that on the table early on.
Yeah, because otherwise you're both just going to get disappointed at some point, and that's not good for either one of you. It's not good for your relationship. It's not good for families. So set yourself up for success, not failure, and understand that and people evolve. Just be honest. People evolve over the course of 10, 15, 20 years. So something that was no big deal 15 years ago may be a big deal now. So relationships are ever changing. So it's not an easy answer. And sexuality is a funky thing, as we were about to find out, because we got next, we're talking about, what is it, 9 most unusual sexual
deviations.
I'm not sure.
Disorders.
Sexual deviations or disorders, because some of these aren't sexual deviations. Persistent genital excitation disorders, which would be really freaking annoying. Let me be honest.
So that's a constant state of sexual arousal with orgasm.
Yeah, just think about that. You can't even get through freaking making a sandwich. That would be really freaking annoying. It's just saying. So, okay, so this next one.
Okay, the next one is a constant erect penis, but we don't have the constant orgasm.
Uh-huh.
So you're just constantly aroused.
That would be really
That would be really irritating.
I'm just saying. Like I said, those things would be really annoying.
Okay, then we have hypersexuality, which is a mental disorder. And people are prone to risky behavior, such as sex with prostitutes, unprotected sex with strangers. So STDs are really high on those people's list.
Yes, it's just like anything else where you can't properly prioritize. There's an inability to prioritize, ration and reason. And so you end up doing things that you shouldn't, simply because you're always horny, for the lack of a better word. So, and you think of it, it would be a terrible life to live, right? Just think about it. It just would be.
It would be very narrow.
Yeah, you're not a full person at that point. So it's, and not only that, you're viewing the world through a strange hormone-induced filter. So you can't even experience the world properly. It would be a terrible way to live your life. Okay, what else you got?
Sexomnia. People who are unaware of their sexual adventures at night. They have sex, they masturbate, but they don't remember it in the morning. It's like sleepwalking.
Uh-oh. Well, that wouldn't be fun. That's, yeah. All these things, see, these are disorders. These are, whoever wrote this article labeled it wrong, man. They're not deviations. They're disorders. These are medical issues. Okay.
Okay. There's asexuality. They have haven't the slightest interest in sex.
Well, it makes sense. If you're going to have people who are hypersexualized, then you're going to have people who are the opposite, right? We know this is how nature works. So it's not surprising. But it's, again, you're also looking through life through a strange colored
Yes.
perspective. You're not seeing the world as everybody else does. And it'd be hard. Okay.
Paraphilia. This is characterized by obsessive sexual behavior that is socially unacceptable. They're excited by something unusual and strange, and they don't see anything wrong with it. They don't understand why this is not accepted.
Yeah.
And apparently in total, there's 113 officially recognized paraphilia.
Yeah, well, it's like any other obsessive behavior, right? It becomes out of control, dominating the rest of your life, and that's, this hard way to live. Okay.
Okay, hermaphroditism. I don't see this as a disorder. Next.
Okay.
Micropenis. 12 centimeters at an erect state. So, small penis.
Yeah.
Tiny penis. Micropenis.
Yeah, that's
That's a physical.
It's a physical issue. And the last one is, I can't pronounce that. Diphilism. Diphilim. The duplication of the penis. Only 100 known cases in history. So, which is often both penises can function normally, but the people are infertile. Which is strange, oddly enough. That's a strange one. And see, I don't like that as deviations. Those aren't deviations. Those are medical issues. It's not like someone has a strange sexual provocation. They're born unique. Okay, so what? We got 5 minutes. We want to cover these addictions real quick.
Yes, I posted an article, Sex Addiction, Hypersexuality, and Compulsive Sexual Behavior. So what is sexual addiction? It's an intense focus on sexual fantasies, urges, or activities that can't be controlled, cause distress, or harm to your health, relationships, career, or other aspects of your life. So it's very similar to other addictions, and it affects 3 to 10% of the United States population. It begins on the average at 18 years of age, but most people don't reach out for help until the age 37. And now hypersexuality, there's an ongoing debate if it's a mental health disorder.
Well, is it mental health or is it a physical disorder? Is it hormones? Is it a mental?
Yeah.
But if you flood your system with enough hormones long enough, you're going to just habitualize behavior that's based upon a flawed view of the world, right? So
yes.
The reality is it can be both. A mental health disorder, it can develop into a mental health disorder. It can start as a physical disorder. but develop into mental disorders.
Okay, what are the signs and symptoms of sexual addiction or hypersexuality? Okay, you're obsessed with sex.
Mm-hmm.
You masturbate often. You frequently view porn. You spend an excessive amount of time planning sexual activity. You frequently use sexual services, phone sex, chat rooms, paying for sexual encounters, visit to strip clubs, having multiple partners, or frequent one-night stands. Your behavior escalates to reckless sexual activity. You engage in sexual behaviors that go against your personal values, religious beliefs, or what society deems appropriate. You frequently engage in paraphilia. These examples include exhibitionism, voyeurism, sadomasochism, and pedophilia. You can't stop your sexual behavior despite negative consequences to your finances, relationships, health, or emotions.
Yeah, you kind of lost control, like, alcoholism or drug addiction or any of those kinds of things. It becomes the same thing, feeds on itself.
Yeah. Okay, so what are the causes? There's an imbalance of mood chemicals in your brain. Conditions that affect or damage areas of your brain that control sexual behavior. Conditions such as dementia, bipolar, epilepsy, damage to your frontal lobe, these kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
Altered brain function that creates new pathways of addictive behavior. These are learned behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
Substance abuse, particularly cocaine and amphetamine use and alcohol. Adverse effect of medication. What example is levodopa, a common medication used in Parkinson's disease?
So even it can happen just by, other medications that change your hormonal balance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. How is it diagnosed? They go by your current health, your family medical history, use of recreational drugs, sexual thoughts, urges, and your behaviors.
Yeah, so it's not something you can go and take a blood test for. I mean, you can take a blood test preparing for treatment, but the blood test isn't going to tell you if this is it. You just kind of have to figure it out and work with, professionals to do so.
Okay. How is it treated? Medications. There's no specific medications, but there are antidepressants, anti-androgens. These anti-androgens target male sex hormones. Naltrexone, that's used to treat alcohol and opioid addiction, mood stabilizers, anti-anxiety medications, and some other antipsychotics.
And then you've got, psychotherapy, which is the standard.
That is the big one.
Yeah, that's how the pills and medications can help, but fundamentally you're going to have to help yourself through that kind of an issue. I mean, there's nothing people like us. I mean, we can sit here and talk about it. We can point you into directions. We can tell you that you're not alone and that you can seek help from people who are, frankly, better qualified than us to help you through this. Our job is to make it comfortable to talk about and for people to reach out. Okay, so are we done? We ready to go on to the...
We're ready for Reddit.
Are we ready for Reddit? Okay, that was a difficult one to take, Lubby. That wasn't a fun sex show. What the heck, man?
Sorry.
I know it's all
I did
good.
my best.
No, it's fine. I'm just saying, I was all prepared for a fun sex show, and you just smashed us over the face with a shovel instead of a dildo or something. I don't know. A big floppy dildo would have been more fun, but hard dose of reality, I suppose, is probably more needed. As we enter Mental Health Awareness Month, it's probably not a bad. Probably a good way to go. I'm just saying. That's what I get for not really paying attention to the show notes you put together until
Yeah.
until we get to the show. All right. So what questions you want to start with now?
Relationships.
All righty.
My 23 female friend, my 23 female friend, 22 female, found my boyfriend, 23 male, on a dating app. He says he isn't on any dating apps. He showed me his phone and he isn't. Should I trust him? Okay, this was a longer one. They've been together 2 years.
Okay. Well, it may be an old profile. Maybe it used to be on dating apps. It'll stay there. If you don't close it, you just stop going. You don't download the app anymore. It'll stay there. So maybe it's an old one. And that is the danger of those things, right?
Yes, it is.
Because if you don't change it, or if you set up a profile once on a dating app, you didn't ever even do anything with it. You just set up the profile once and you forgot about it or whatever. And now you're on a dating app forever. Who knows? I mean, you can go look at it and see. It'll usually tell you when it was last updated or when they were last on or something like that. They usually have that kind of information on there. But the question is, why were your friends looking for your boyfriend on a dating app? That's my question. There's a reason behind it. What was the long reasoning behind all of that?
Oh, she was just on a dating app and came across him.
Are we sure?
No.
Yeah, I don't know. Should you? I don't know. It's not going to be that unusual if someone in their 20s is on a dating app, even if they're not actively using it. So I'm just not going to. It by itself is meaningless.
Yeah.
So it's whether it's anything else is the question.
Okay.
Okay.
My girlfriend, 27 female, said I, 26 male, pester her too much to go out, and now she's thinking about ending our relationship. How can I fix this? Well, you can make plans, twice a week to have a night in with her.
Well, she doesn't like to go out. You like to go out. You may have fundamental differences, right? This may not be an issue about, something as simple as going out. There's probably something bigger, something more fundamental. You like having a social life. She wants a quiet life at home. Are you willing to sacrifice your outgoing social life for her wanting to stay at home? Maybe she's done going out and can't take it anymore. Maybe she's having mental health issues, and she's feeling unconfident. Who knows? But the question is, she doesn't going out, and you're at 27. She's reaching that age where going out and having a good time is no longer attractive. Going out, getting drunk and puking on your shoes is no longer a good time. It's just not. She'd rather stay home, read a book and go to bed because you got to get up in the morning. So why don't you think about what your goal in life is? Maybe it's that she's looking for something deeper, more meaningful, and you're still wanting to be a young 20-year-old person rather than a grown adult. So that's what I would think about. Okay.
My husband, 33-year-old male, told me he's no longer attracted to me. 27 female. I'm currently pregnant with twins. How do I let him know how much this hurts me?
Okay, my question is, how did this come up?
Well, he hadn't had sex with her since she was 12 weeks pregnant.
Okay.
I think he has a thing with pregnant women. He can't.
Yeah, it feels weird.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing to get your head around sometimes, right? It becomes something strange because you're no longer having sex with just your wife. Your children are there. And it's a strange thing to kind of wrap your head around, and some people can never do it. And maybe that's what it is. And so, what for a simplistic view of it was he's now unattractive, and really it is he's just uncomfortable, and that's how it comes out. How do you get them to understand how that it hurts you? Well, first, understand that it's probably not about you. So, I mean, that would help. But I don't know. Without knowing more about the relationship, it's hard to know. But I mean, he got you pregnant, so he clearly finds you attractive.
Yes.
So my guess.
He married you. He's in for the long haul.
Yeah. So it's one of these things that happen during pregnancy, and how you deal with it is, this is the first step of your parenting, and how to approach it. Approach it slowly over the course of a week or so. I wouldn't actually push too hard, but when you have time, you just explain that, hey, I understand that. Explain that. Maybe you want to explain his feelings to him about it. Maybe it's uncomfortable being intimate when you know that I'm pregnant or when I'm visibly showing. But when you say it's unattractive to me, attraction is more than the physical, appearance. It's emotional and connections, and it makes me feel disconnected from you. I think if you explain it that way, and you get past the emotions, and you can come at it from his angle, so where he understands it. Mention that, hey, he's probably just uncomfortable with the notion of being intimate with the babies in this case. It's just a weird thing to get over. Approach it from that angle, and hopefully he can come around. Men have a tendency to stand up when they have to. So I wish you the best. Okay.
How do I, 20-year-old man, handle "you're not listening to me" type arguments with my partner, female 29?
Restate her argument in a better way. Instead of doing a straw man argument or dismissing an argument, restate it from a stronger position and then explain yours. That way she knows she's been heard. It's just like every other person on the planet. If you actually want someone to make sure you get heard, you restate their argument stronger than they stated it themselves. And then you state yours. Then they've been heard. Because that's what she wants. She just wants to be heard. And you're not giving her signals that she's been heard. So tell her she's been heard. And you tell her by restating that position stronger.
You do that really well.
So it takes practice, but it's not all that hard. It does take practice to get in the habit, but it's actually not that hard. Okay.
Parenting.
Woohoo, parenting.
What do you think about boys and nail polish?
I think they make a mess with it, but other than that, I don't. I mean, like boys wearing nail polish?
Yeah.
If they want to wear nail polish, it's one of the... If that's all the rebellion you're going to get after boys, count yourself freaking lucky. If they want their nails to look pretty or whatever, let their nails look pretty. The more you push back on that kind of thing, the more pushback you're going to get. So leave them alone. That's my thinking.
Yeah. These are not the 90s anymore. This is
It is nail polish.
2023. It's just nail polish.
They can peel it right off if they don't like it. It's not tattoos. Don't worry about it. Let them try it out. Try it on. Okay.
Yeah. For some reason, my 20-year-old daughter finds the need to bring up mistakes I did in the past whenever we are in a group of people. How do I get her to have these discussions with me in private?
Is there more background?
No.
Because it's the only power she currently has, so she's using it. I mean, sometimes it's just for fun. They're having fun, and it's a funny story. What you find embarrassing, she finds a funny war story. Or it's a family trait of using these kinds of things for whatever reason, and she's just participating in it. So if you want to have these type of discussions with her in private, you have to start having these kind of discussions in private.
I would tell her I'm not comfortable discussing that right now. Let's talk about this later and walk away. And then next time I was with her, I'm saying, are you ready to talk about that thing you wanted to talk about now?
Well, it also depends on kind of mistakes we're talking about. There's so much that details matter in response to that. So,
Well, she doesn't like it, obviously.
Well, yeah, but lots of things happen that people don't like. They just have to deal with. So other people get to tell their stories how they want to tell them, even if you're involved. And so if they want to tell a war story, you're going to have to get used to it. Maybe you weren't such the angel in the past, and now you're just trying to hide it under the rug, and she doesn't want to. Read what we sow. So without knowing details, I can't give a good answer.
Okay. Me, 31 female and 11 female daughter, still share a bedroom. She has her own room but prefers to sleep with me. Is this harmful to her?
Harmful at 11? No. But she'd be better off learning to sleep in her own room. But she just likes to be hanging around her big sister. It's not the...
That's her mom.
Her mom. Yeah, that's still mom, big sister, same thing. She just wants to hang out. But you're still better off getting her in her own room. But at 11, no. Single mom, I'm assuming?
Yep.
Yeah, it's just security, just feeling safe. That's all it really is. Without knowing the exact situation, she just wants to feel safe. But you'll be better off. But is it harmful? No. If it drags on for another 2 years, is it harmful? Yeah. But yeah. And I don't even know if it would be harmful. It would be best if she would get the other room. But if you're like stuck in a place where you have to share a room, people do that all over the world. It doesn't create any harm. So it is what it is. But it would be best if she'd learn to have her own room, have her own space, feel safe. But for now, my guess is there's other circumstances why she has the need to feel safe, and just honor those for a little while. Let it play out.
Okay. Our 5-year-old is smitten with a dinosaur hoodie my mother gave him for his birthday. Wears it always. My husband thinks it's weird. I think it's cute. Who is right? It's not weird. He's 5.
Yeah. It's just a dinosaur hoodie. I'm going, what's the problem? I'm reading this going, Clint, and there's a problem here somewhere? Where's the problem? It's just a 5-year-old with a dinosaur hoodie. He'll get tired of it in a month. Don't worry too much. Don't worry about it. It's a 5-year-old. It's something new, and it's a dinosaur. Kids like dinosaurs. They just do. It's just, every kid wants to be a T-Rex, so it's just let him be a T-Rex for a little while. It's all good. Is it weird? Well, of course, but 5-year-olds are weird. They're just starved. They're experiencing the world. They're exploring the world. 1 minute they're on a dinosaur, next minute they're they're an astronaut on Mars. Let them be. Let them be. Okay.
Okay, we got some work questions.
Okay.
What to do about work social events I don't want to attend?
Don't attend. I mean, you pick one every now and again to show up if you want to be a social, but
Go at Christmas.
But you don't have to attend. Just say you've got other plans and go on. Now, some of these events, depending if you want a career at that place or if it's just a job, may make different decisions. Sometimes you do these things as career advancement rather than, social event, or networking type of thing rather than a social event. But if you're just a Joe Schmo, cog in the wheel employee and you don't really care about upper advancement or anything like that, and just don't go. It's not a big deal. You don't care that much. Okay.
How to tell your family you quit.
Is there any background on that, or is that all that one says?
That's all it says.
Well, you said I couldn't take it anymore, and I had to leave. It was bad for my mental health, which is usually the reason when you quit something like that. You just can't take it anymore. The working environment is so difficult, we'll call it, that you simply can't do it anymore. And that's how you tell them. Hopefully they're in the dark and you've been keeping them up about how this is. And you haven't, you're kind of informed. You've not been telling them for months and months, oh, everything's great, everything's fine. And the next thing you know, I quit. Why? Because it sucked. Well, wait, you just said. So, hopefully you've been open and honest with your family over the course, and so it's not such a big shock. But you just tell them, you really just, the truth hurts. Sometimes it's you that the truth hurts, but you still got to say it. Okay.
During my break from college, I have started working at a local pizzeria just because I like the food. But one of my managers is very aggressive, and today he called me dangerous. I don't think I fit into the work environment well, so I think I want to put my 2 weeks in. My question is, how do I do so in a casual workplace like a pizzeria?
On a pizzeria, you don't even really have to put in your 2 weeks. 2 weeks is a courtesy. It's not actually a legal requirement or anything. Let's be clear about that. But you just do it. You can put a letter to your manager, to the main manager, is what you do, or you can just have a conversation with the main manager, but that's where you deal with it. Just the same way you deal with it anywhere else. You either do a letter or you just have a conversation. There's no secret to it. It's just the same way you do it anywhere else.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Male coworker called me fat. Do I have a right to report it to Human Resources?
Well, do you have a right to report it to a Human Resources? Yes, but the question is, why would you carry it around with you? You're going to carry that comment and all that stuff around with you. You're turning it. It's a crass comment, but at some point you have to just let those things go. Otherwise, you're allowing yourself to become victimized. You're going to spend all kinds of time and energy on this. What's the result going to be? Someone's going to go and wag his finger at it at worst. I wouldn't give it the time it's worth, personally. But you do have every right. And sometimes, if it's a more than once thing, maybe it's a thing. But if it's a one-off, give it the amount of attention it deserves. Would be my suggestion. It deserves no attention, so give it none. That's my suggestion. Now, if it's a recurring thing, that becomes a different issue. But don't put any more energy into it than you did.
Yeah. Okay, we have 6 questions.
Alrighty.
Wife thinks I'm wrong for giving up, but I'm really not sure how else to approach our sex life. I'm always the one to initiate sex. How do I get her to take the lead?
Well, this is like the age-old question, and being asked to solve an age-old question with no details on the personal lives of the two people involved.
Well, they've been married like 30 years.
Yeah, well, at this stage, you've just, it's become almost overly habitualized, right? And you do get tired of it, because it's not actually getting tired of initiating sex that's the problem. It's you get tired of getting turned down. that actually what happens. Right? It's fine. Initiating sex is fine if you've got a 50-50 shot. But if that percentage gets down to 10, 5, you're getting turned down a lot. If you're getting turned down 9 out of 10 times, you're going to stop trying. It's just human nature. It's got nothing to do with love or compassion or anything. It's just, egos and whatnot. It's not worth the time and effort. Go spend my energy somewhere else. And then, so if you complain, well, they're not trying anymore. Well, yeah, you have to reward the effort at some point. You have to take one for the team at some point. If nothing else, at some point you have to reward the effort. And how do you get her to take the lead, or how do you get her to do? Talk to a sex counselor. That's what I would actually do, because that may just be you've gotten into a rut and now you don't know how to get out of it, which is very common.
Yes.
So, and it's very awkward to get back into one once you've gotten out of one, right? It just is. No matter how strong your relationship is, it's just very awkward because, as we talked about at the beginning, sex is fundamentally strange and weird. And so it is what it is. Just, I don't know. How do you get her to take the lead? You probably don't. She probably can't break that habit. So what you want to try to do is get her to turn up her acceptance rate. And maybe it's, you becoming more strategic win. You try. So maybe there's some ground to work with in there. But again, talk to somebody. Talk to a professional.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I'm female, 29. I'm dating a boy, 28, since 2 months. He's really nice and cute, and we get along very well. But when we have sex, he almost never makes me orgasm. He finishes quite quickly, and it's done. How do I tell him I need more to satisfy me?
Well, at this early stage, it's actually easy, because you just start suggesting other things. Right? That's actually the easy part. Because at this stage, he's probably too inexperienced, I would guess, to know what to do. So you've got a great opportunity to kind of steer how the future of your sex life is going to go. And my guess is he's probably very malleable. So just start suggesting what you want to be done. Hey, do me a favor. Lay down there while I sit on, your whatever it is. I'm trying to be family friendly at the same time. I'm not.
Well, I sit on your face?
Yeah, there you go. I'm so used to public access where I can't say these words. that the filter automatically clicks on, and I'm trying to think of ways to say these things. I'm just so used to being on. Right. You just make these suggestions.
Show him where your clitoris is.
Yeah. Give him help. Help him out. Help the boy out.
Help him out, man.
Yeah, and if he's done too fast, well, then interrupt before it happens. Starting and stopping. Give him a hand. That's usually just because he's inexperienced, and that'll happen over. Either inexperienced or overly excited, can't believe that he's got someone as attractive as you. So, it's kind of a compliment. But yeah, help him out. You're probably just more experienced than he is, and so he just needs a guiding, loving hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Boyfriend wants to watch me have sex with a mutual friend. I'm not interested, but he keeps bringing it up every day. How do I get him to quit bugging me about it?
Well, if you've already told him no, and he's literally bringing it up every day.
Yeah, every freaking day.
That's just weird. Well, you may just have to ask, what's the big deal? And actually have the conversation. Not that it's going to change your mind or anything, but just so you can actually figure out what's really going on. Maybe he's hoping you like his friend more. Maybe he's looking for a relationship out. kind of be my guess. If you're emotionally immature, that would be a way out. So that's what I would ask.
Why are you doing this? Yeah.
Yeah, that would be my thing. Okay.
Okay. Last question. My boyfriend doesn't like me seeing his soft penis. We are both 18. What's up with that?
Because he's probably a grower, not a shower, is how we used to describe them. And so he's embarrassed. At 19, of course you're going to be.
18.
18, 19, doesn't matter. At 30, you're going to be. So, but at 18, you're even going to be less, even more. I mean, embarrassed about these kinds of things. It's not some secret.
I hate porn. They ruined this. So many men set up so unrealistic expectations.
It's got nothing to do with porn. It had the same thing would have been happening back in the 1930s and the 1940s. This is just a male thing. It just exists. And I can tell you where it comes from. It's because when you're a little lad, and the first time you see a real adult penis, and you look down at yours, and there's you got this little child penis, it sticks in your head that way. And so we carry it on until adulthood. Just is. Nothing wrong with it. It's a human experience. It just is. Can't fight it. What are you supposed to do? It's not porn. This has existed long before porn was available. So it's just human existence. It's a human thing. It's just like sexuality is a human thing, and it's a strange human thing, and our paths to it and through it are windy and often dangerous. And so I think we should all be cautious as we walk down the velvet path of love, shall we say. Anyway, me and Lubby are out of here. We'll see you next week. You can find us at latenightLove.us. You can always send Lubby a letter at love@latenightLove.us. And for me and Lubby, good night. And please remember to love everybody, but not that way.
Good.